May we request everyone to please settle down. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As you may be aware by now, last September 8th, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, Queen and Head of State of New Zealand, passed away. New Zealand is in a period of national mourning, and as a mark of respect, let us have a moment of silence for the Queen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Philippines New Zealand Government Innovation Exchange Service. I am Shane Malyari, and I am your host for today. Before we begin the program, allow me to acknowledge our distinct guest. It is my honor to introduce you today, His Excellency Peter Kell, New Zealand Ambassador to the Philippines. Ms. Samantha Theo, Regional Lead of Business Development from New Zealand. Mr. Johnny Haddon, Creative HQ, New Zealand. Mr. Hernando Banal, Trade Commissioner, New Zealand Trade and Enterprise. And Ms. Noel Velasquez, Policy Advices, New Zealand. Let us also acknowledge our city government leaders headed by Mayor Wes Gatchalian, Vice Mayor Lori Natividad Borja, from the City Council, Steering Committee, Nina Lopez. City Councilor, Christopher Joseph Pineda. City Councilor, Rosel C. Ms. Dorothy Evangelista, Chief of Staff for Social Welfare Operations. Let's also give a round of applause to the Mayor of Bantayan, Cebu, Mayor Arthur Despi. The representatives from the National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA, our Chief Economic Development Specialist, or Rogerine Miguel. Ms. Apple Marie Vitug, also from NEDA. From the Anti-Red Tape Authority, Arta Yusek Carlos Kita. And OIC, Mr. Ernesto Perez. We would also like to acknowledge DILG Valenzuela Director, Ms. Mary Jane Nacario, represented by Ms. Serena del Espiritu Santo. We would also like to acknowledge our virtual attendees from the New Zealand and from the different sectors and agencies of the Philippines. We would like to welcome all our city department heads, barangay captains, sectoral representatives from PWD, solo parents, senior citizens, 4Ps, GPTA, and Home Owners Association. Again, we welcome you all. And this event is special to us because the partnership of the city government of Valenzuela with the New Zealand G2G Limited reflects a mutual interest in improving the capability of the local government unit to deliver a citizen-centered social services. The Valenzuela City and New Zealand G2G have worked together in the past few weeks to attain their common objective through New Zealand's leading provider of structured innovation program, the Creative HQ. As we gather today, we will witness the Philippines New Zealand Government Innovation Exchange Showcase. To begin the program and to formally welcome all of us, let us lend our ears to the very hardworking and supportive mayor of Valenzuela City as he gives his opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Mayor Wes Gatchalian.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell, who is soon to be adopted Valenzuelano very soon. I think the ambassador has visited not only once but a couple of times already to our city. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Mr. Johnny Hayden, Noel Velasquez, to our members from the ARTA, I think Mr. Carlos Kita is here this morning. To our fellow members of the New Zealand delegate, Mr. Hernando Banal, and I can see also that we have a guest from Bantayan Island, Mayor Arthur Despi. At I've been to Bantayan Island a couple of times already, and it's a napakaganda pong lugar. To our local officials, Vice Mayor Lori Natividad Borja, to all our city councils, to all our barangay officials, good morning. Pleasant morning to all of you as we gather here today for the Philippine-New Zealand Innovation Exchange Showcase. Before I begin, and in behalf of my fellow Valenzuelanos, our sincerest sympathies with the people of New Zealand and the rest of the Commonwealth realms as you mourn the loss of your head of state, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who served with such dignity and kindness for more than 7 decades. I myself was a witness of her service during my 5 years university and postgraduate studies in the United Kingdom. Service excellence is a norm at the city government of Valenzuela, but our system is not 100% perfect. We still receive negative feedbacks from time to time. People still do not know how to fully avail of our social welfare services, or they find the process difficult despite of all the reforms that we have employed or tried to employ. On the average, we cater to about 8,000 clients weekly who come back and forth to the City Hall for documentary requirements. Thus, the introduction of Govteck Accelerator program to the city of Valenzuela was very timely as we are facing congestion inside the City Hall. This project is the first of its kind in the Philippines, and we are very lucky to be chosen as the pilot city of implementation. The New Zealand's G2G Partnership program provided us with innovation experts from Creative HQ as our guide in bringing our ideas into reality. Integration of new technologies will enable our constituents to transact remotely with the city at the comfort of their homes or wherever they may be. The platform to be implemented is the result of 12-week workshops between our social welfare personnel and the innovation coaches and is unique to Valenzuela City experience. This innovative project will not merely prevent overcrowding in City Hall, but will bring convenience to our constituents because they will no longer have to travel back and forth to the City Hall to avail of social services. This is consistent with the direction of my administration as the new mayor of the city, which is to level up access to social welfare services through digitalization and introduction of streamlined, efficient, and innovative approaches. I would like to thank the Creative HQ for guiding our participating social welfare personnel during the strenuous 12 weeks. Thank you also to our dedicated staff, headed by our Chief of Staff for Social Welfare, Ms. Dorothy Evangelista. Andito siya sa likod natin. And finally, I would like to thank His Excellency, the Ambassador Peter Kell, for introducing us to this program. The good ambassador has visited us several times, as I mentioned, and each time is a pleasurable learning experience for us. We hope that in the near future, we would be able to embrace more best practices from the New Zealand government. I know that this project will inspire other local government units and national government agencies to aspire for excellence in delivery of services to their constituents. Magandang umaga po, maraming salamat at mabuhay kayong lahat.
Thank you, Mayor West, for your insightful message. Also joining us this morning are Councilor Gerard Galang and PESA Pacava representatives. Let's give them a round of applause. At this juncture, we are pleased to have with us today the New Zealand ambassador to the Philippines. To warm our hearts with hopeful words of inspiration, may we listen to his message. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell.
Tēnā koto, tēnā koto, tēnā koto katoa. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, a rauringa tira mā, te he Māori ora. As you now know, New Zealand is in an official period of mourning since the passing last week of Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, our previous head of state. I would like to take this opportunity to express the deepest gratitude for the late Queen's love of the people of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and her life of service. I also acknowledge our new head of state, His Majesty King Charles III. I would like to acknowledge here today Mayor Wes Gachalian of Valenzuela City, Vice Mayor Lori Natividad Borja of Valenzuela City, councillors, esteemed councillors of Valenzuela City, also the Deputy Director General, Under Secretary, and officer in charge, Ernesto Perez, perhaps not here in person, but certainly here in spirit, the Undersecretary Carlos Kita, Bandayan Cebu Mayor Arthur Despi, other distinguished guests, fellow public servants in both the Philippine national and local governments here today, my colleagues from the Embassy of New Zealand, ladies and gentlemen, particularly those following this by Facebook live stream or by Zoom. Thank you very much for being here. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat, Mayor Wes, sa lahat ng mga taga Valenzuela sa mainit na pangtanggap sa amin. Yeah, sa totoo lang, nakailang balik na rin ako sa inyong magandang lungsod. At damang-dama ko ang inyong mabuting pakikitungo sa akin. Salamat po. Mahalaga ang araw na ito sapagkat ngayong makikita natin ang culmination of all the hard work of the team from the City Social Welfare and Development Office sa pamumuno ni Ma'am Dorothy Evangelista. Last year, when I talked with then Mayor and now Congressman Rex Gatchalian, I recognized the effort that Valenzuela City has put into public sector services and the effort to continually challenge yourselves to do better. We from Aotearoa, New Zealand, were eager to partner with you and share what we have been doing back home. It's true that all governments are looking for ways to respond to challenging times and to prepare for the future. New Zealand has one of the most respected public sectors in the world, and this partnership, evidenced here today, is a great example of what we can offer the Philippines. We in New Zealand, in the public sector, continuously strive for innovation and efficiency in the way we run our government and deliver our public services. Our continued top ranking in the World Bank's annual Ease of Doing Business survey is an example of the success of our methods. Since last year, we have been working here in the Philippines with not just Valenzuela City, but also with the Anti-Red Tape Authority, or ARTA. You will hear from both today on how our programs have helped their own internal systems and processes. Valenzuela City has worked on how to improve the delivery of aid to their constituents in a more efficient manner. When Ma'am Dorothy was explaining to me their story last week, I was struck. Sorry. All good. Okay. I was struck by the genuine joy that Ma'am Dorothy and her team exuded when they realized how much better this new approach could be, not just for the people of Valenzuela, but also for their team as well. So putting the citizen at the heart and center of innovation can indeed work wonders. ARTA is in the middle of their T7 masterclass, which aims to promote a culture of innovation within the institution and eventually cascade this to the rest of the bureaucracy. The months-long training will upskill their people in innovation tools and methodologies which could help in the delivery of their mandate as they strive to assist other agencies cut down inefficiencies in public sector delivery. But throughout this journey, 2 New Zealand entities have been crucial partners in helping these projects come into fruition. You have already been introduced to them, but the first is Creative HQ, an organization owned by a local government in New Zealand, Wellington City Council. Creative HQ has been advising not only New Zealand government agencies or departments on innovation, efficiency, and what we like to call Govteck, the application of innovation in government, but also other governments around the world. Leveraging its years of experience, Creative HQ is working with the New Zealand government in helping other governments around the world find solutions to their problems. The second partner I'd like to refer to, and you've already been introduced to, is New Zealand Gtg Partnerships, or New Zealand Gtg for short. As has just been explained, New Zealand Gtg provides a single point of access and advice for governments around the world to find partners across New Zealand's public sector to deliver specific projects, improve organizational capability, solve problems, and deliver sustainable change. So if you are facing a challenge and think we can help, please reach out. Particularly if your problem or challenge you face are in the following 3 key areas: sustainable food supply, education, and government effectiveness and innovation, which is why we're here today. So around the room are some examples of the proven solutions New Zealand has to offer. I think there are some posters around here somewhere. If you would like to find out more about how to partner with New Zealand, please have a talk with me after this, or Samantha. Please stand up, Samantha. who is New Zealand Gtg's regional lead here in ASEAN. Merong konting time mamaya para kausapin ninyo ako, si Samantha o si Johnny. Johnny, do you want to stand up again, just once more? Mula sa Creative HQ para sa inyong mga katanungan. But can I close again by acknowledging the leadership and support of Mayor Wes Gachalian and his team in Valenzuela City, and of the undersecretaries Ernesto Perez and Carlos Kita and their teams in Arta, for truly, without your leadership and support, these projects would not have got off the ground. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo at sana sa susunod marami pa tayong mga proyektong magagawa together. Nodera, tēnā koto katoa.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Peter Kell, New Zealand Ambassador to the Philippines. It is our honor to hear your inspiring message for us today. Maraming salamat po. Valenzuela City is favored that they got an expert in facilitating workshops and introducing innovative programs. The Creative HQ is New Zealand's leading provider of structured innovation program, and their purpose is to deliver transformative change and experiences, create a culture of innovation within organizations, and unleash innovative talent. To present the government innovation in the public sector of New Zealand government, let us call the General Manager of Creative HQ, Mr. Johnny Haddon.
Good morning. Tēnā koutou katoa. It is so great to be here. Thank you so much for your hospitality and welcoming me here this morning. Thank you also in acknowledgements to Mayor Wes. Thank you for your leadership as explained previously. Ambassador Peter Kell, Mayor Arthur as well, who I've yet to meet. DG Ernesto as well. It's an honour to have you all here, as am I, and to be hosted also by Ma'am Dorothy. Thank you so much. Now, I believe I have a few slides. So what I want to do this morning is to talk to you a little bit about public sector innovation and introduce Creative HQ. So Creative HQ, as explained, is an organisation that is part of Wellington City Council, wholly owned by Wellington City Council, our capital city in New Zealand. And we are really driven by innovation and improvement in the public sector. You'll see there, we've been around for 20 years, and innovation is our sector, and really impact is what we're trying to create, and that is the measure that we are driving for. So, public sector innovation, what is it? You know, I get asked this question a lot to explain, and I think it is very different to innovation in the private sector. You know, innovation in the private sector is ultimately about the bottom line, and it is about creating new services for revenue or reducing costs and overheads. But innovation in the public sector is about so much more than that, but it is also very, very difficult. It is very difficult because, you know, what you're measuring is about things like increased trust and transparency in government. It is about increased services for citizens. And these things are so vitally important, but sometimes they can be not as easy to measure as simply the bottom line. But it is why it is such an important role for government to play. And again, acknowledgement to the Social Welfare Development Office and Valenzuela City for their leadership and for their role that they have played in really championing a better public services. So, could you go back one? Who is familiar with Alice in Wonderland? Yeah? There is a little story from Alice in Wonderland where the Queen and Alice are running as fast as they can, and they are not getting anywhere. And sometimes that is the role of public service, it feels like. You know, you're so busy doing work and ensuring you are delivering the services, but not really having the chance to step out and make good progress to create better services. But that is what the team from Valenzuela City have been able to do, and it shows how much progress they have been able to make with some structured support for an innovation process and program. So I also would like to tell you a story. Don't worry about the graph just yet. I'd like to tell you a story about two friends of mine who, when they finished high school, what they were going to do. One of them thought that the accounting looked like an interesting thing to do at university based on the booklet. So they signed up to study accounting. And after the first year, they realized that accounting was not as interesting to them as they thought. After the second year, they started to really not enjoy it. And after the third year, they found that that profession was not suited for them and was not a good option. My other friend also thought they wanted to be an accountant. So what did they do? They went and worked at an accountant's office. And over the summer learnt, perhaps actually this is not what I would like to do. Maybe I should take a different approach. So that friend tested about what it could be like to be an accountant and tried out different professions, and then realized that they wanted to try out what it was like to teach, and then worked in a school, and then went on to study teaching, and became a great teacher. This graph here tries to represent that, and that is what we often do in government and in corporates. We make a decision about what it is that we're going to build very early without experimenting. And then we get to the end, this blue dot over here, and realize that we do not best meet the needs of our citizens because we made a decision about what it is that they were going to do so early on the knowledge axes here. Instead, what the team from Valenzuela City have done, and what my friend who became a teacher did, is follow a different route. A path where they were able to test and experiment what it was like to innovate in government, and what it was like to deliver services before they made a decision about what it was that they were going to implement. And the result is a very different solution, a solution that best meets citizens' needs rather than a solution which was untested and ultimately may not create the desired outcomes. So, the Govteck Accelerator program, it is a 13-week innovation program that is a proven model for government organizations to tackle urgent challenges. And that is what the team have been doing. We've been very honored to be partnering with NZTE and Gtg in support of this program. So, I'd like to give you a quick overview of what the team have done in just 13 weeks. In just 13 weeks, you'll hear from them shortly, but they have gone through a process that looked a little bit like this. They started off with the red section here, a very rich discovery process to understand what was at the core of the problem they were trying to solve. They then went on to create some ideas for how they might best address those problems. And then they went into testing these problems and iterating on them to best learn how they might achieve the best possible outcome for citizens. And then they have developed an implementation plan, a growth model for how they can scale that across all of the services or across their services in social welfare office. And then today it's about telling that story and ensuring that message of public sector innovation is heard. So I want to just give you one other example of a team who have gone through this program as well before passing over to the team. We worked with the Taiwan Water Corporation, who in the similar amount of time were able to identify, their problem was around looking at leaks, of which 15 to 20% of all drinking water is lost underground nationally in Taipei. And we were able to work with them on creating a solution that was using big data and machine learning to identify where leaks were happening And then over the preceding 12 months, they were able to save an estimated 3.5 billion drinking litres of water. So these are real problems that create real impact for communities. And of course, that impact that I touched on around public sector innovation is vitally important. You know, it's not just about creating and improving bottom line, it's about creating impact and change, and many of the projects that we've worked on, you know, relate to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, which is a way of measuring that impact. And lastly, I just wanted to share that actually it's not just about creating a particular solution to a particular challenge. It's also about upskilling our public servants and participants. You know, sometimes governments are guilty, at least in New Zealand, are guilty of using consultants or externals to create change and create better, improved services. But what we must do is create the opportunity for civil servants to be able to do that in their day-to-day work. Every civil servant has the ability to make change and to make impact. We had a researcher study the Govteck Accelerator for 3 years, and they found that these were the top 3 behaviours that were impacted for civil servants of going through this program. They had the confidence and resilience to innovate. It showed they learnt a lot of leadership skills and be able to implement those solutions, and ultimately a big part of it is about that customer centricity, or putting the end user at the heart of what it is that they are doing, which is of utmost importance. And the last thing I will say, I think, is we can create innovative outcomes, and we can teach methodology for how to do that. But what we would really like to do is play in the centre, which is around creating innovation by method. The mayor might have a very innovative idea, and that could be great. But actually there are thousands of public servants, and if we can teach the methods for innovation, you know, they can then apply that across all areas of their work to create the most possible impact. So that is what we are trying to do. Thank you so very much for your time here today. And finally, if you would like, as it was mentioned earlier, this was the first program like this we have run in the Philippines, and we are going to be running more of these programs over the next year and beyond. So please, if you think that your city, your LGU or department could benefit from taking a different approach, please do get in touch with myself or Samantha, who you've already met, because we would love to talk to you about how this program might be able to assist. Kia ora, and thank you so much, everybody. I look forward to hearing from the team about the amazing work that they have done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny Haddon, the General Manager of Creative HQ, for sharing these innovative solutions to us and to our community. Again, thank you so much. Ladies and gents, this event also aims to recognize the completion of the 13-week innovation program attended by the team from the city's Social Welfare Development Office, or CSWDO. To formally introduce her team and to give her message, let us hear from the Valenzuela CSWDO head, Ms. Dorothy Evangelista.
Thank you, Shane. His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell, Mayor Wes Gatchalian, Johnny Haddon from Creative HQ, Samantha Theo Lin of G2G, to Yusek Carlos Kita of Anti-Red Tape, to Mayor Arthur Desby of Bantayan, Cebu, Ms. Apple Marie Vitog of NEDA, to our Vice Mayor, Lori Natividad Borja, representative of different national agencies, city councilors, to my partner, and who is a member of the steering committee, Concehala Nina Lopez, to the stakeholders who was with us in this journey, the barangay captains, department heads, to the officers of the different civics society organizations, to the business sector and community leaders. A pleasant morning and welcome to the Philippine-New Zealand Government Innovation Exchange Showcase. Allow me to thank His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell for this opportunity, in spite the whole world is mourning for the loss of their country's head of state, Queen Elizabeth II. Thank you, Creative HQ, G2G New Zealand, Mayor Wes Gatchalian for the unwavering and undying support, and of course, to our beloved Congressman Rex Gatchalian, who initiated this partnership and talked together with Mr. Banal, and the Sangguniang Panlunsod ng Valenzuela for approving this project. Today, I was tasked to introduce the project team and to give an overview of the journey and discovery they have been through before coming up with these prototypes that will be presented by Roxanne later. The project team was being coached for 12 weeks by Ms. Josie Josh of Creative HQ. And of course, Ms. Neder was together with us via Zoom all the time. They had Zoom classes for half a day weekly. Patiently, they went through this journey in coming up with this prototype. 4 of the city social welfare staff, together with Roxanne. Roxanne, can you be Hannah Rose Francisco, Brandon Encarnacion, and Rafi Kalalang. Let's give them a warm. They really deserve all the commendation. They have undergone a 3-month accelerator program to improve our welfare claims, the application and approval process. We acknowledge that the system is very manual, lacking efficiency, and inconsistent at times. This difficulty has negatively brought our system and staff performance perceived as below par by some of our clients. The team had to go through a process of deeply understanding what causes these challenges by exposing themselves to common concerns, feedbacks, and sentiments of the public. This is what we call the discovery journey. During this process, the team was overwhelmed by numerous things we need and must be resolved. But in this program, they were taught how to prioritize things and identify which ones we should and which one that should be resolved. Our departments has a wide range of services and programs for our fellow Venezuelanos, but we opted to focus on one area for improvement. Part of this program is to create a stakeholder group composed of subject matter experts that has relevance to this project. We also have here today are the stakeholders from different offices, from the Information Technology Office, Digital and Communication Office, Public Information Office, Treasurer Office, Budget Office, Legal Office, and the Office of the Secretariat and the Planning Office. They have attended stakeholders meeting in which they provided guidance, connections, and support. On behalf of the project team, at this earliest moment, I would like to express our gratitude for your efforts. My task, being the executive sponsor of this project, is to meet with the team monthly to track the progress and provide oversight. More so to guide the implementation, ensure that risks and milestones are well managed. During the course of identifying different problems, we set our minds in aiming for creating the best solution to this challenge. The project team was introduced to different tools to stimulate new innovative ideas, which are called the process of ideation. Different solutions were designed, tested, and improved by the team, and thus keeping in mind the needs and who could best benefit from this program. Of course, our Valenzuelanos who are here today. We aim to continue applying all the learned problem-solving techniques and strategies from the New Zealand Government Accelerator program. It was a long and exciting learning journey for all of us, but what we are most excited about is presenting to all of you the social system innovations of the Valenzuela CSWDO. Indeed, our office is very lucky to be chosen to pioneer these innovations. Allow me to share a quote I once read from former President Barack Obama. The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope. You will fill yourself with hope. The CSW team hopes to grow this project over time and discover more ways of helping the Valenzuelanos to whom we are dedicating all this effort. I believe when we help others to grow, we grow in the process too. For me, it adds true value and meaning to our lives. Again, magandang umaga ho sa inyong lahat at mabuhay.
Thank you very much to the Social Welfare Operations Chief of Staff, Ms. Dorothy Evangelista, and the head of this project as well. We would also like to thank and congratulate once again our team members, Ms. Roxanne Abadies, Ms. Hannah Francisco, Mr. Brandon Encarnacion, and Mr. Rafi Kalalang. And now to present to us the CSWDO project team, let us welcome Ms. Roxanne Abadies.
To the New Zealand Ambassador, Peter Kell, to our Mayor, Wes Gatchalian, to our Vice Mayor, Lori Natividad Borja, to the members of the Sangguniang Panglunsod, and to our guest of honors from different government agencies, local chief executives, barangay captains, and to our fellows from New Zealand, and most of all, sa mga kapwa ko Valenzuelano, Kia ora, magandang araw. I am Roxanne F. Abadies, a social worker from the Valenzuela City Social Welfare and Development Office. I am one of the Valenzuela Govteck Accelerator team, and we are happy and excited to share our journey with the goal to improve the provision of social service in our city for our kapwa Valenzuelano. There are approximately 30,000 clients who come to the main office, as well as to our 5 satellite offices, which are strategically located in barangays far from the City Hall, who are asking for social service assistance, spending an estimated amount of 80 million in a year in providing financial assistance for qualified beneficiaries. As a social worker, we promote to social change and social justice with and on behalf of our clients. Our mission is to serve our fellow men with integrity and competence, as we also value the worth and dignity of every individuals, families, and communities. It is very evident that the local government has been giving its utmost support to our kapwa Valenzuelanos who are in need of assistance, and they also have the strong desire to help us improve our service delivery. Over the last 3 months, our team focused on discovering the root cause problem in the delivery of social service. finding out how big and serious the problem is, collecting evidence, testing our assumptions, empathizing with the people, and understanding the complexity of the problem. These people are facing financial difficulties because of their current health issues, their loved ones who have died, transportation, and all sorts of crises in life. Some of them are facing multiple problems. But how could we ease them when they go to our office and they experience another sort of problem? Here's a glimpse of our clients' experiences.
Ako doon, hindi ko naman alam na may requirements pala. Tapos yung pagpunta ko doon, mamasahe pa ako. Wala naman akong pamasahe. Kaya pumunta ako doon, hindi ko naman alam na may requirements pala. Tapos yung pagpunta ko doon, mamasahe pa ako. Wala naman akong pamasahe. Kaya ako nag-apply ng medical assistant kasi ipagamot ko sa sakit ko.
Yung sa akin po, yung sa proseso po ng paglapit po sa kanila po, ang una po kasi, pupunta ka po muna doon, magtatanong ka sa mga requirements po. Pagka po natanong mo po yung mga requirements, babalik ka po ulit. Kapag nakompleto mo na po yung mga requirements po, yun po yung proseso ng paglapit po sa kanila sa paghingi po ng tulong.
Also, yung mga tao din, iba-iba din yung sinasabi nila. Kunwari, kinater ako ng isang empleyado, the next na employee naman, iba na naman yung sinasabi nilang requirements.
Bakit iba-iba ang requirements sa CSWD office? Pabalik-balik ako sa opisina ng CSWD para sa requirements. Ang tanging nais po namin ay makapaglingkod ng isang maagap, mabilis at mahusay na serbisyo para sa ating mga kababayan. We started by building and analyzing a process flowchart in one of our services. This shows how often there are inefficiencies in the process. We also analyze our learnings gathered from interviewing our citizens, colleagues, and stakeholders. All this shows how complex the process is for applying for help they need for our citizens, and how complex it is for our social workers. Our team was able to identify key points in the process that were causing problems for citizens and social workers that we would like to streamline. Through our work, we have identified many problems and opportunities, but which ones can we start to solve right now? And which ones need longer-term, bigger solutions? AICS, or what we call the Emergency Welfare Program, provides a wide range of services, wherein the data mentioned earlier shows how huge is the number of clients being served. Thus, the team realized the need to streamline and enhance the delivery of social services that will benefit the marginalized, vulnerable, and disadvantaged individuals and families. But how can we provide better service to our citizens with consistent skills, streamlined or automated processes? Of hundreds of clients coming into our office for AICS or financial assistance, almost 42% of them got turned away because of lack of requirements, causing them to feel upset and frustrated that they couldn't be granted the help they need. This entails additional expenses for their transportation and even sacrificing their day at work. They have to wait and fall in line all over again. Given all these facts, the team came up with different ideas on what is the best solution we could prototype or test that is low cost, feasible, manageable, and effective. And with the support of the Govteck Accelerator and Creative HQ innovation experts, we have created the Dotbot. Dotbot is a simple information bot and messenger used to find out what are the requirements needed when applying for AIX and where to go to apply for dot assistance. As we all know, Facebook Messenger is widely used by most Filipinos nowadays. It is very cheap and easy to use. Thus, it will be a lot more accessible to fellow Valenzuelanos and can even reach the people living in the farthest barangays from the City Hall.
City Social Welfare and Development Services right on the dot. Introducing Dotbot, CSWDO's very own Facebook Messenger chatbot. With Dotbot, CSWDO clients can know what requirements they should bring and where they can reach us for the following services. It's quick, accessible, and free. Just search Dotbot on Facebook Messenger and initiate a conversation by typing Dotbot, hi, or subscribe. Chat with Dotbot now.
Series of testing was done to gather feedbacks. Out of 20 clients undergo the demo testing, 19 of them found the prototype Dotbot to be very helpful, accessible, time-saving, and informative for both our new and old clients. This chatbot also has a Taglish version, a feature that aims to reach more fellow Valenzuelanos in need applying for AIX. With significant further investment and support, this type of chatbot prototype could be the future of paperless transactions. That could also help lessen the citizens coming over and over again, the crowded queuing line on a limited space office, and even complaints from our clients. We understand that not all innovations are technical, and not all citizens have mobile phones or even gadgets. We put the same requirements information that is in our chatbot, from our Citizens Charter into a brochure, which could be disseminated. We can also hang banners and even have a coffee table book around our office, which contains the same. These non-technical solutions can solve problems creatively with this cheap, quick, and effective.
At CSWDO, we strive to make information available and accessible for all. In all of our offices, we have a variety of non-technical solutions ready, such as tarpaulins, copies of Citizens Charter, brochures, signages, and other information, education, and communication materials. Not tech-savvy? We got you, Valenzuelano.
Have much time to do formal learning about changes to policies or guidelines. We thought as a team, how might we help our staff keep up to date with new policies and guidelines in a short, easy, cheap way so they can serve better our clients? Our solution was to build a test, fun, e-learning module that we can keep improving and changing when new policies or guidelines come up. Study shows that small, frequent chunks of learning are more memorable than reading a whole book or a policy document.
Our commitment to every Valenzuelano we need is to deliver our very best indeed. We must always ensure that our social workers and staff are well-trained and well-informed in terms of our processes. That is why we've come up with the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations e-learning module. Filled with the necessary guidelines, our e-learning module acts as a training manual for employees old and new. It also has built-in quizzes to help assess and improve our knowledge. It's learning made simple, accessible, and enjoyable.
6 of our staff tested the e-learning module, and all of them enjoyed learning in this quick way. Even more importantly, we have had feedbacks from our fellow social workers. What you are doing is working. We have less staff asking questions about AIX because now they know. We've learned that this module can grow to be a key strategy to measure staff capability, performance evaluation, rewards, and incentives. This e-learning module allows the management to measure and track staff's learning and development. Our team believes that these simple, cheap, and reliable innovations mean a lot to our people, and we will never stop innovating despite finishing our 13-week program. What we presented are only prototypes that would cause us to become a reality. We have a lot of plans like streamlining our services further, linking the Chatbot to our Valenzuela City website, creating a database, and eventually having a paperless social service assistance. Our plans also include having our social welfare staff well-equipped, competent, and efficient. These goals will all be possible with your support through having enough funds, manpower, technical expertise, and equipments. And as our Honorable Senator Sherwin Gatchalian have said, it's high time that we push the digital transformation of our government services. And we all need your help to each other make these innovations happen. Thank you.
Thank you for the detailed and informative presentation. Our CSWDO project team member, Ms. Roxanne Abadies. And once again, on behalf of the City of Valenzuela, I would like to congratulate all of you for completing this Applied Innovations project together with New Zealand. And of course, this will future-proof our city, our organizations through digital transformation. And now, to share their experience with Creative HQ's T7 Innovation Masterclass program and to impart their connection with CSWD, let us listen to the officer in charge of the Anti-Red Tape Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ernesto Perez.
His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell, Mayor Wes Gatchalian, Joey Haddon of the Creative HQ, Councilor Nina Lopez of Valenzuela City, Mayor Arthur Despi of Bantayan, Cebu is here, New Zealand Trade Commissioner Hernando Banal, of course from the ARTA team, Undersecretary Kaloy Kita, Director Grace Fernandez of our Compliance Monitoring and Evaluation Office, OIC Director Dr. Carl Samokte, who is also one of the 7 finalists to the T7 class. The rest of the members of the team, I see Ms. Kareng Paredes, KD Perez, Sarah Jane Ramos, who else? That's it. Also, from our Public Relations Unit, Neren, staff, Pat Dilag, fellow public servants, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. First, I'd like to thank New Zealand Ambassador, His Excellency Peter Kell, for inviting ARTA to participate in this activity, and of course to Mayor Wes Gatchalian for hosting this event. We'd like to especially thank Johnny Haddon of the Creative HQ, of the New Zealand government, for your invaluable resource that you have provided to the ARTA team. Indeed, we are grateful for the partnership that have been established between the New Zealand government and the Philippine government. In fact, that partnership has resulted in the decision to capacitate staff of the Anti-Red Tape Authority through the T7 Masterclass and sharing best practices in the ease of doing business. With this, it has contributed to improving the authorities' push for public sector's efficiency in the country. We at the Anti-Red Tape Authority are optimistic that given our President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., who is also celebrating his 65th birthday today, we thank him for really emphasizing and pushing for streamlining and an e-government. And these efforts will bear fruit in the near future. Many agencies and local government units have in fact responded to the call for innovation in order to improve services. Not only because this is required by law, but more so because our people deserve a more effective services. We hope that we have started and will serve as a foundation on the government's programs on streamlining and re-engineering of government services. For one, we especially thank and we applaud, we congratulate Mayor Wes Gatchalian and the City of Valenzuela for their ongoing efforts to innovate and improve the ease of doing business in the city and the quality of government services provided to the citizens. Setting the standard of government service by a local government unit and hopefully to be followed by all other local government units in the country. It is our sincere wish that all the other LGUs will soon follow Valenzuela's lead. Palakpakan po natin ang City of Valenzuela. Through our various programs and initiatives, the Anti-Red Tape Authority continues to advocate for the acceleration of government service delivery in the country as mandated by Republic Act 11032, or the Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Delivery of Government Services Law, which amended Republic Act 9485, or the Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007. The Anti-Red Tape Authority was established by Republic Act 11032, which is the primary agency under the Office of the President tasked to implement the national policy on anti-red tape and ease of doing business. It is a one-of-a-kind innovative agency because it has two mandates: the enabling and capacitating side, which is being handled by our operations group tasked for streamlining, re-engineering, and automation. And the other side is the investigative or enforcement side, which can only be resorted to if government agencies and local government units will refuse to follow what the requirements of the law on streamlining and digitization. Since its creation in 2018 and its operationalization by the middle of 2019, ARTA has made good strides in carrying out its mandate and providing support to various government agencies and local government units and other government instrumentalities in their efforts to streamline their processes and systems. In accordance with Republic Act 11032, here are just some of the various programs and initiatives. We have too many, but in relevant or pertinent to today's event, I will be sharing with you only about 4 of the major programs in city. And these are, first, the electronic business one-stop shop, specifically addressed to all local government units, which, according to the law, by June 17, 2021, all should have or shall have migrated from the manual processing of business permits and licenses to electronic. And so far, by June 2020, as of June 20, 2021, only 521 out of the more than 10,000 local government units have or full or partial automated business one-stop shop. And I'm glad that the city of Valenzuela is one of the few LGU which has a fully automated business one-stop shop. The other initiative is what we call the Philippine Business Hub, or what used to be the Central Business Portal, which is a one-stop shop for all business-related information and transaction, from starting a business, like registering with the Securities and Exchange Commission if you're a corporation, and with the TTI if you're a sole proprietorship, to registrations with the BIR, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, or the 4 other social agencies, and eventually to the agency granting secondary permits like the Food and Drug Administration if you're engaged in the selling, manufacturing of food and pharmaceuticals. You can access this at business.gov.ph. On September 21, 2021, or barely 2 years from the operationalization of the Anti-RTP Authority, we launched the alpha version of the Philippine Business Regulations Information System, which is a platform for stakeholder consultation and notification, where government agencies will have the opportunity to upload in the system the regulations they are enforcing, which has a functionality when we come to phase 2 of whether that regulation has been subjected to consultation or this is aligned or updated with all the other regulations. You can access the Philippine Business Regulations Information System through regulation.gov.ph. The other system is what we call the Anti-Red Tape Electronic Management Information System, or the Artemis, which is a tool for ARTA to monitor the compliance of the agencies with the submission of an updated Citizens Charter. The Citizens Charter is what we call the heart and soul, really, of the law, because it requires all government units, agencies, including local government units, to publish in a document called Citizens Charter all services that they render, the documents required, the fees to be paid, the standard processing time, the penalties, even the penalties involved, which is what failure of an agency to publish that government service in the citizen charter will mean a violation of the law. So there is really that pressure on the part of government agency to comply. Otherwise, they'll not only be considered in violation, but they will also be not eligible for the performance-based bonus. So these are just 4 major programs that I'm sharing with you, and there are still a lot. You can visit our website so you'd know all the other programs and initiatives that the government, that the Anti-Red Tape is doing. Now, since the inception of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, we have been benchmarking with several foreign partners, including government of New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Australia, United States, Japan, Malaysia, and especially today, we are really especially grateful to the government of New Zealand, through its ambassador, His Excellency Peter Kell, and the Creative HQ, represented by John here, for the collaborative efforts with ARTA in promoting innovative solutions and ideas to various problems or concerns in the Philippine government. This partnership was actually strengthened in September 2021 when ARTA and the New Zealand government signed an agreement to strengthen the relations and boost the efforts in the fields of ease of doing business and public sector advocacy. The main objective is mutual cooperation between the 2 signatories, and as such, the New Zealand government can bring in the Creative HQ as what the testimony of the trainees from the Valenzuela government and later on from our team at the ARTA will show, where it brought to the country the Creative HQ, which is the New Zealand's leading provider of structured innovation programs for startups, corporates, and government, and relevant government departments and private sector agencies for their expertise during their coordinations with ARTA. And meanwhile, the authority can tap all national government agencies, local government units, and other government instrumentalities working with the agency to help in their projects. The projects that the Philippines and the New Zealand government will center on 4 areas, which are innovation in service design and delivery, technology transfer and adoption related to e-governance. That's the second. Third, government technology and innovation methods and practices. And lastly, development of academic regulatory management programs and services. In other words, the T7 masterclass, which have been trained starting from 21 staff of the Anti-Red Tape Authority down to the top 7. Later on, the team leader will give his testimony, sharing the experiences of the team and during the training. And the T7 masterclass intends, 1, to upskill the authorities' personnel on innovation tools and methodologies. And number 2, to apply these innovation tools and methodologies to develop solutions for problems of interest that confronts not only the authority but eventually the country. And third, to provide or to promote a culture of innovation within and outside the Anti-Red Tape Authority. The next part of my presentation will now be, I will now be turned over the floor for the meantime to the team leader of the team, Dr. Carl Sanmocte, who will be sharing with us the team's experiences during and after the training. Carl?
Hello. Thank you very much. Our dear officer in charge, Ernesto Perez, Ambassador Peter Kel, Mayor West, our dear Vice Mayor, the Creative HQ General Manager Johnny, the new regional team leader, Miss Sam, nice to meet you. Our Undersecretary, Yusek Kita, Director Grace Fernandez. Alam po ninyo, about 100 kilometers from where we are, so you can visualize, at a brick-walled seminary where silence dominates, there's a mural, a wall beautifully painted with the words, "Be patient to walk with short steps until you have wings to fly." Be patient to walk with short steps until you have wings to fly. Tiyagain mong maglakad, bagamat pakonti-konti, bagamat utay-utay, hanggang magkaroon ka ng pakpak para humayo, para lumipad. Our whole T7 experience at the Anti-Red Tape Authority is basically that. From Tier 1, starting on February 14, that's Valentine's Day, until the end of Tier 3 last August 8, from Tier 4 until to where we are today, our experience taught us to be patient with short steps. And what is beautiful in our journey is we got a good pact of co-innovators. We are grouped into 3. So 21, we have 7 persons per team, each group having a creator, a hacker, a hero, a hustler. So each one having different sets of characteristics. In that way, there are more varied views, which lead to more interesting and fruitful discussions. With the guidance of our competent facilitators, whom I believe are present online, and with the support of our top management from the Anti-Red Tape Authority, of course, led by our dear officer in charge, Ernesto Perez, the teams went through the rigorous but enjoyable process of discovery. Una, identifying and understanding the problem. That's primary, that's number 1. Falling in love with the problem. Ano ba talaga ang problema? Getting rid of our typifications, getting rid of our natural inclination to box, getting rid of our biases, knowing the views and opinions of the concerned stakeholders through expert, empathy, interview, among others. Ganun rin po yung ginawa ni na Ma'am Roxanne sa Accelerator program. It's basically the same. Then later on, trying to figure out what solution answers the problem or the need. Checking its market potential. Kakagatin ba ng publiko? Will it really fit? Will it really address their need? And after a series of testing, of trial and error, coming up with a prototype of our innovative solution. You can see on your screen, we have identified the backlogs and delays at our HR system. Hence, the ART tablet, okay? Which is a one-stop shop, an online HR portal. Second, we have identified difficulties in compliance to the heart and soul, borrowing the words of OIC Perez, about the Citizens Charter requirement. There's difficulty in complying with that. Hence, the hybrid training in relation to Artemis. And lastly, we have understood the complexities and challenges on the varied projects being handled by ARTA. Hence, the PMT manual and PMT dashboard. This is a screenshot of the dashboard on monitoring our work and financial plans and the status per se of our projects. Of course, it will lead to better decision-making for our employees, rank-and-file employees, and of course, for our top management who are present here. Testaments to everything that I've been saying are the very words of our innovators at the Anti-Red Tape Authority. Here, Attorney Alma Alexandra Martires said, and I quote, "The T7 Masterclass is a different kind of experience compared to all the other workshops and seminars I've attended. It truly embodied the concept of learning while doing. This way, participants are able to take ownership of their output and become dedicated in seeing it come to fruition." In the words of Francis Gabriel Santos on the next slide, he said, "We often think that innovation can be found in the grandest, most sophisticated of things. However, this masterclass is a testament that innovation can be found in the simplest of things." Kahit pala sa mga simpleng bagay, kaya nating mag-innovate while remaining responsive to the problem. In summary, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, the whole T7 brought us to the mountains, where we have seen scenic views, where we have seen the burning bush, where we have witnessed that 5 loaves and 2 fish can feed thousands of people, where we felt that rare feeling of tremendum et fascinans, trembling and fascination. But we very much know, just like the team of Dotbot here, we very much know that we gotta go down the mountains. Bababa kami ng bundok because we've got comrades at the bottom whom we have to help, whom we've got to support. Service should happen there. That's the real deal. And to explore more on that, to share more of our ways forward, I'm giving you back our dear OIC, Ernesto V. Perez.
Thank you, Carl. Very interesting indeed, very encouraging. It is a pleasure on the part of top management to seeing you sharing the learning that you got from the T7 Masterclass through the New Zealand government. So, as a ways forward, the ARTA and the New Zealand government are marveling or thinking of establishing creative laboratories in the Philippines, patterned after the New Zealand's Creative HQ. I hope we can fulfill that dream. Thanks for the continued support of the New Zealand government and our government. That creative laboratories will provide structured innovation programs for startups. And among the upcoming programs are the following: innovation service delivery, technology transfer and adoption related to governance, government technology and innovation methods, and then academic regulatory management courses. As what our president said, the government is indeed interconnected. Everything that's done on one hand affects the government in another place. Therefore, streamlining and re-engineering are absolutely essential. If we don't, it will be the people who have to deal with the consequences. If we don't streamline our bureaucracy, the people will be bearing the burden of over-regulation, excessive requirements, redundant processes, and even induce cost, which should not really be the case. What we will be proposing as an aftermath of this training will be precisely to avoid this type of problems or issues by applying technology, by applying innovation. As public servants, it is our duty to provide the people with high quality, timely, and convenient services they deserve. After all, we are called public servants. Indeed, President Bongbong Marcos said, digitalization is the key to providing this high quality and efficient service to the people. I'd like to point out that innovation involves more than just amazing ideas and putting them into action, but to make the country and perhaps the world a better place. Let us always keep in mind that all we do, from programs and initiatives to our efforts to innovate, is really for the benefit of the people we serve, the Filipino people. They should really be at the heart of all the things that we do as government workers or public servants. It is only fair to give them the service they deserve. The test of the pudding is in the eating. What we have learned, what we will be training, will be nothing unless the people will feel the improvement of the services that we deliver to them. And they feel that they are really part of the country. Nothing or no one should be left behind. I also would like to thank the Livable City, Philippines, where Ambassador Kel and I were speakers last August 2 or 3, where we shared each other's initiative and the opportunities for innovation that we provide to our local government units. It is our shared mission to assist our country in accelerating innovation by providing efficient government service delivery. Furthermore, we intend to increase the country's competitiveness, and this is really very important, because by improving the country's competitiveness, we should boost the country's capability to welcome investors and assure them that once they come in, their investments will be duly protected. And what better way we can do by providing or applying innovations to improve government services, assuring them that once they come in, they will not be encountering red tape. When they apply for permits or licenses, this will be expedited in no time at all, because this is our responsibility that we are offering to them. And once they come in, improve our competitiveness, this will expand business and livelihood opportunities for our people. I implore everyone to continue working together for the continuous growth and prosperity for our beloved country, the Philippines. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Maraming salamat din po. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences with Creative HQ's T7 Innovation Masterclass Program, the OIC of the Anti-Red Tape Authority, Mr. Ernesto Perez. And we agree with you that all these efforts is for the betterment of our service to the Filipino people. We would also like to thank Dr. Carl Joseph Sanmonte for joining us on stage earlier. Now, to give us her message. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to our LED wall and let's watch a video message from one of CSWDO's innovation coach, Ms. Josie Glasson.
We're honored guests here in Valenzuela City. Kia ora koutou from New Zealand. But for me, the honored guests are the Valenzuela City Social Welfare and Development Office team of Roxanne, Hannah, Rafi, and Brandon. I've worked with you all for 4 months, and I am amazed at the innovative work that you've done over that time. I'm really pleased that I got a chance to be your coach, and I'd love to work with you again one day in Valenzuela City or here in New Zealand. I think you need a holiday, and I think I need to try Jollibees. You've learned so much along the way, but you've also taught me and Josh a lot. We'd like to offer you now the chance to accept a token of your journey with us, the Diploma of Applied Innovation. I'll hand over to Sir Johnny.
All right, that was the message from one of CSWDO's innovation coach, Miss Josie Glasson. And before we formally wrap up the program, we would like to call on the delegates from New Zealand. Please join us here on stage. His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell, together with Mr. Johnny Haddon, and Miss Samantha Teo, please join us on stage, because now we will award the project team members for the presentation of Diploma of Applied Innovation. So may we call them on stage? Please join us. Roxanne Abadies, Miss Hannah Francisco, Mr. Brandon Encarnacion, Mr. Rafi Kalalang, together with the Chief of Staff for Social Welfare Operations of the Valenzuela City, Miss Dorothy Evangelista. Let me read the diploma. Creative HQ, congratulations. We are proud to join you in celebrating the completion of the Diploma in Applied Innovation signed by Colleen Kennedy, GM, School of Innovation, on behalf of Creative HQ. The name of the recipient and the date today, September 14, 2022. Congratulations. Here's a photo op together with our project team members, together with His Excellency Ambassador Peter Kell, Mr. Johnny Haddon, and Miss Samantha Teo. Let's give them a warm round of applause, please. Again, thank you and congratulations to the project team members. And may we request our delegates from New Zealand to please stay on stage. May we welcome back our ambassador on stage, the project team members. Thank you so much for joining us. And this time, we will invite the leaders of Valenzuela City to join us on stage. Mayor Wes Gatchalian, please join us. Vice Mayor Lori Natividad Borja, our councilors, Councilor Nina Lopez, Councilor Gerard Galang, Councilor Cel Sabina C, Councilor John Bartolome, and Councilor Miggy Pineda, please join us to award a token of appreciation to our New Zealand delegates. We have here with us again, our ambassador, the ambassador of New Zealand to the Philippines, His Excellency Peter Kell, together with Mr. Johnny Haddon, the General Manager of Creative HQ, and Miss Samantha Teo, Regional Lead Business Development in New Zealand. Thank you so much for imparting your knowledge, skills and all the technologies that you have to the city government of Valenzuela. We are looking forward to the betterment of the service of the city government to the Valenzuelanos. We would also like to call on, of course, the Chief of Staff for Social Welfare Operations and our Bot inspiration, Miss Dorothy Evangelista. Again, thank you so much. On behalf of the Valenzuela City Government and the Valenzuelanos, maraming salamat po sa inyo.